I'm Derek Tyson with GatorCountry.com. I'm here with Thomas Goldkamp. Florida loses tonight 17-6. It's now their third SEC loss in a row. For Florida, they just couldn't get anything going offensively. They struggled most of the first half. They made a change at quarterback in the second half, and really Driscoll wasn't able to do much. It seemed like Brissett was able to finally get a little bit of a rhythm in the second quarter there and lead to some field goal drives, but overall the Florida offense just couldn't get in the end zone.
Right. Well, the thing that really hurt Florida too, other than the offense having trouble getting going, was the Gators gave up 3 turnovers that led to 10 points. The first touchdown Auburn scored was off a muffed punt. And those were really costly for Florida, really kept Florida from getting back in the game. Robert Clark muffs a punt there with a couple minutes left to play. Florida's still in it within 8 points, and then you give up a field goal to really put it out of reach. But yeah, Florida just has to do a better job of playing around the quarterback. I thought Brissett looked comfortable early, like you said. He struggled to start the game, but then kind of got into a rhythm, it seemed, a little bit in the second half. And Florida, to end the first half. Yeah. And Florida comes out and plays Jeff Driscoll to start the second half. I mean, you would know as a former quarterback that kind of throws you off a little bit, no?
Yeah, absolutely. And Driscoll hadn't played since the second half of the Alabama game, coming off the injury, which means he wasn't practicing much either. So, for Brissett, he started to look solid in the second half, hit some nice throws. Second quarter. Hit some nice throws and started to seem like he was really finding his groove a little bit. And they pulled him for Driscoll. Never went back to him. It was a little surprising there, but like you said, they have to play better around him. The false starts on the offensive line really killed them. They gave up 4 sacks tonight. The offensive line did. And then the running game, there's nothing up the middle at all. So I was a little surprised there.
Yeah, Coach Will Muschamp had told us throughout the week that Mike Gillislee was expected to get more carries this week. He's a guy that had some success running up the middle against LSU, and then Florida only gave him 3 carries tonight. He made 16 yards on those 3 carries, so it's not like he wasn't productive. But you only saw him in there with that Wildcat package. He never played out of the eye, never played out of a 2-back set that was non-Wildcat. So you wonder, what the issue is there with him not getting more meaningful touches throughout the game rather than just the Wildcat.
Absolutely. On a bright side, it did seem like the Florida defense played a lot better than it had against LSU and Alabama. They held Michael Dyer to under 100 yards rushing, and made some nice plays in the run game. Now, obviously, the offense wasn't really helping them out much as far as putting points to the board, and I did think they played. Matt Elam in particular, I thought played an excellent game. He, I believe on the stat sheet, he had 9 tackles and 2 tackles for losses, so he played one of his best games. But overall, they just didn't do enough to win the game.
Right, without question. Florida's defense kept them in it until the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game, and that's all you can really ask them to do with a freshman quarterback playing. Keep you in the game, give you a chance to win it. Florida had the chance late, gave it away with the muffed punt, and that's just something you can't expect to do that and win on the road. Yeah. Looking forward, what does Florida need to do? That's 3 straight losses. The SEC East is out of their control at this point. You got to hope for South Carolina to lose. You got to hope for Georgia to lose. What do they have to do moving forward?
Well, one, they got to get healthy. They're really banged up. They Andre DeBose was a guy that got hurt. Obviously Brantley's out. There's some other minor injuries that you saw some guys going out. So they got to get healthy. And then obviously you want your senior quarterback to come back and because right now they're struggling offensively. They can't really seem to get anything or any kind of rhythm on offense and sustain a few drives in a row. And then they got to work on turnovers still. They're still not creating any turnovers, but yet they give up the ball 3 times. And especially the muffed punts, that's deflating when your defense finally holds the other team to a stop. They punt the ball and you muff it and they get it right back. So your defense has been looking for big stops all year. They finally do it, and you're giving the ball right back to them on a muff punt. So those are things that got to get corrected.
Yep, the defense has to be able to start coming up with some turnovers. That's 3 games in a row they haven't forced a turnover. You're not going to win many ball games doing that. And it could be something as simple as Brantley returning to the lineup gives them a spark. On the defensive side of the ball, you start moving, you score a touchdown or 2 here or there. You get some momentum, and maybe your defender steps up into a passing lane, makes a play, rips out a ball. But that's something you have to see from Florida moving forward. You cannot expect to win many games, without turning the ball over.
No, you're absolutely right on that. And the good news for Florida is that they didn't just cave in after the 2 losses. They came out, they competed. and they were in the game up until the end. They just didn't make the plays that needed to be plays. Driscoll missing that flea flicker to Jordan Reed where he's wide open. You got to hit that. I mean, you don't get many chances where guys running down the field wide open, and you got to hit those. And then on the fourth down here where Thompson ran that out route and he was open, you got to make that pass. You got to stick it in there, and he overthrew that one, and he tipped it a little bit, but that would have been a tough catch to make. So, overall they still have a lot of work to do.
Yep, no question this team needs John Brantley back. Wrapping it up from Jordan Hare Stadium, I'm Thomas Goldkamp here with Derek Tyson. Stay tuned to GatorCountry.com for more post-game coverage and analysis.